There are certain things in the gaming industry that are controversial because people don't really have a right answer. When there's no clear path to how to make a game franchise better, fanboys and haters, just general members of various communities will get together and, scream at each other for hours. But when it comes to something like this, map voting, there's no discussion to have. And that's the only way I can actually make a video about it, is by first stating, there's no discussion to have. There's nothing for me to say in favor of map voting, because map voting, in my opinion, and in many other people's opinions, is an absolute no-brainer. I mean this literally. You do not need to have a high-functioning brain to realize that not everybody is going to like every single map in an FPS game. Like, do I need to sit here and tell you, hey, map voting is great because then when a map shows up that you like, you can vote for it. Or if there's a map that you really don't like, you and your friends can veto it. Right? Did I need to say that to you? No. Everybody knows that map voting is superior. Now, people will say server browsers are superior, but I argue that for matchmaking systems, map voting is so much better than a server browser. Server browsers and matchmaking, in my opinion, are two different topics. So, to keep this video simple, they're just not going to be brought up here. We're not going to talk about server browsers. We're going to talk about the fact that Call of Duty, Halo, Battlefield, they don't really like to have proper lobbies anymore. It's like lobby is a bad word. Like, you wanted to play with the same friendlies and the same enemies as last game? Oh, too bad. Screw you, I guess. We are constantly getting kicked out of our matches into a very loose matchmaking system, in which the games just sort of throw us in random directions based on our skill level, our time played, who the fuck knows anymore. And if that isn't bad enough, you don't even get to pick the map. So instead of going on and on about that, let's talk about old Call of Duty here for a second. Old Call of Duty was not a generally fast-paced shooter. Now, faster pace than some other shooters, yes. Faster time to kill, yes. But in general, they provided a very varied set of experiences. Back when you were playing COD 4, you'd get maps like Vacant and Shipment, then Crossfire, then Overgrown, then Pipeline, and then Crash. Maps that are all different sizes with different flows and spawn points and buildings to take over. They were very different maps. When you played Modern Warfare 2, you'd go from Rust to Wasteland. In Black Ops 1, you'd go from Nuketown to Villa. Now, despite a lot of players now seeing Call of Duty as being all about speed, I think longtime Call of Duty players need to be honest with themselves. If Call of Duty was always fast, all the time, from the start of its popularity, I feel like it just would have been less popular. I mean, it's simple. When something's incredibly popular, outselling almost every other game almost every single year, you can't point to one part of the package, which in this case is large, complicated maps, and say, those were terrible. I mean, were they? They were a repeating trend throughout so many of Call of Duty's early years, and even now we're going back to getting maps that are much more varied in size and layout. Even Black Ops Cold War had a map like Miami in it. Modern Warfare had stuff like Euphrates Bridge, and Grozny Raid, and Arklov Peak, and now with Vanguard, we have several large maps, several medium maps, and several small maps. I think one of the things that made Call of Duty so popular back in the day is that for every map that you don't like, there's somebody else that likes it, or at least enjoys it as a change of pace. Like, I don't like Wasteland in Modern Warfare 2, but after a really sweaty, frantic game on something like Terminal, or something even smaller like Rust, I really like Wasteland. Laying in the grass with a ghillie suit and a sniper rifle, picking people off at a distance, it was its own experience. Halo did this as well. Halo has so many different styles of maps, and many of the old Halo games allow you to veto the upcoming map, so if the majority of the lobby doesn't like it, they don't have to play it. What matters is that when a map is in the list, whether you like it or not, you kind of have to go where the majority of the lobby is. If you don't like it, you can leave. Now, it is really sad when a lobby seems to majority really want to play a unpopular map. So you have some rare people in that lobby, and then everybody else just leaves because they didn't get the map they wanted, so the match doesn't play as well. And I wonder if that's part of the reason certain maps have a bad reputation is because everybody left, so they didn't play properly. The truth is, you're just not going to love every map in a game. And in something like Vanguard, I just feel like despite their huge amount of maps, I don't get to see enough of them. I would vote for Bocage every time I see it, but I, don't get to see it. I just get to hopefully get into a lobby with it. I think map voting provides more variety. And yeah, while the majority ruling on things can be annoying, and especially right now with Call of Duty players seeming more and more ADHD every single entry, the larger maps would almost never get voted for, right? But I would say that if Modern Warfare 2019 would have had map voting, a lot of people would have been happier. The general consensus of a game will improve if the general player base of the game gets to have what they want every single time they click Find Match. Now, of course, there's other solutions, just leaving games, lobby shopping, but they're just not as good as map voting. Map voting is a convenient, well-placed no-brainer. Just the ability to veto a map, vote for one of 3 maps, one of 6 maps. It's honestly my favorite part of Insurgency Sandstorm's matchmaking experience. Once I play a map, the entire lobby votes on the next one. Reminds me of old Battlefield 4 servers. It's great. This video doesn't really go out to anybody watching this because you guys are all pretty much gonna agree with me. This video goes out to potentially any developer that watches videos about stuff like this. Come on, what's the big fucking idea? See you when I see you guys. Sorry to waste your time with a topic that we already agree on. I'll get back to work on coming up with hotter takes and more controversial stuff. It's good for the channel's numbers anyway. See you when I see you. Goodbye.